I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today we are going to talk about how I wrote my poetry collection, Synesthesia Nature. So for those of y'all who have not seen my previous videos about my other poetry collections, all of them are titled Synesthesia along with another title. And basically this lets you know what kind of journey that you're going to be on. So this one in particular is about nature. And the reason why all of them have the title synesthesia is I personally have synesthesia. Specifically, I taste colors and I taste words. So that has a huge impact on my writing and my art and why I choose the words that I do, why my writing style is the way that it is to be perfectly frank, I like to use colors because they taste good, and there are particular words that I like to use because they taste good. And I let myself go a little hog wild with that in my poetry in particular. So how these poetry collections work is that I am just constantly writing poetry as I am inspired to do so. And then once I have enough poems that all kind of come together in a similar theme, I put together one of these poetry collections with Brian. And we trade off with the poetry sometimes featured with Brian's photography, sometimes featured with my art, or in this case is featured with my own photography. So what is special about this particular poetry collection is that I feature photos that I took rather than photography by Brian. And these photos in particular are different nature photos, so flowers, trees, just landscapes. And these were in particular flowers that I saw when I lived in Wrigleyville back in Chicago. And near Wrigleyville, there is a very large cemetery there called Graceland. And this is where all of the big time graves are. So like all of the super duper rich people that helped build everything on Lakeshore Drive, funded all the museums, all of those people are buried in this cemetery. And they have these huge mausoleums and statues and fountains, and there's a huge nature preserve, and there's like all these paths, and it's a regular thing to go there and walk. Like, it's not a weird thing. It's not like a tiny little like families sort of cemetery. Like, these are people that have been dead for at least 100 years. It's open to the public. It's absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend checking it out. But a lot of these pictures are from my days when I would, in some afternoons, just go for a stroll through this cemetery because it was quiet, it was never crowded, and there were just always so many beautiful flowers and beautiful architecture to see, and I always noticed new things every time that I went. It was also great in the spring and summer to see wildlife, which is definitely a thing that you can miss while living in the city. So seeing birds and squirrels and our resident coyotes and foxes and all that kind of stuff living in this big nature preserve cemetery. And just to warn you, the cemetery is really big. Like, it's so big that people will actually drive their cars through the cemetery too if they don't want to particularly walk it. So it's a very large cemetery. There are also various other photos like this one that were taken while I was on my various travels, whether during my modeling days or after that. And all of them were specifically to do with the subject matter of nature. So this one in particular was the Japanese Botanical Gardens in San Francisco. I took a lot of pictures while I was there. There are several of the pictures here in this particular poetry collection because it was just so colorful. The architecture was just so beautiful, and it just fit so perfectly with a lot of the particular poems that I selected for this collection. And funny enough, a lot of the poems in this particular collection are actually haiku. And it was just a happy accident. I didn't set out to decide this was going to be the haiku poetry collection or anything, but just I happened to write a lot of haiku that had to do with nature. And so here they are, presented here, and all of them are very rich in colors and words that I really enjoy because it's easy to use a lot of colors in order to describe nature and natural scenes and things like that. I had so much fun putting this particular collection together with Brian. It's definitely one of the collections that has a higher volume of my happy poems as opposed to my depressing poems. There's a lot of really dark and really depressing poems in my other collections, but this one in particular features a lot of really beautiful, happy poems. So I will go ahead and I will read a couple of excerpts for y'all so that you can have a taste of the happiness and sunshine of this beautiful book. The Meadow of Dreams. Parse the air for spring. Birds return, preceding the green. Snow and ice melt. Dragons call the wilds. Clouds are the celestial breath. Rainy days are near. Delicate water. Birds dance gracefully upon you. Shining fish hidden. Radiant colors. Carpet the once bare fields and hills. Fragrant winds float seeds. The hare crops the grass. Deer frolic and whisper nearby. The wren watches over. The Jade Meadow. Grasses sway gently, revealing golden peonies, housing phoenix eggs. The dragon keeps watch. Mother bird hunts swiftly on high. The silver grass sighs. Tail gently curled, holding the brood, breathing warm breath. Truly no thieves dare. Dragon is watchful, a true father loving his young. Mother bird is proud. Sleep, young dragonborn, dream of sunlight, flowers, and bees, your joy to be free. So I highly recommend this particular collection if you're able to get your hands on it. It was a joy for me to put together. And of course, I was so inspired and had so much fun writing these beautiful poems, as well as there were just so many beautiful days had walking through that cemetery and walking through the various other beautiful gardens and places that are included in this collection. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.